Hello, folks. It's February 16th, 2022. I am in Norwich, Connecticut, and I'm going to take a little drive around. I would call this the St. Patrick's Cathedral area. I'm going to try to do all the side roads and, capture as much as I can. Right now it's about 43 degrees. I just came off Broad Street and I am now on Broadway. St. Pat's Cathedral to my left. And I'm going to try to ride around every single road in the area of St. Pat's Cathedral. And I'm going to take a left onto Crossway Street right here. If this person is going to allow me to turn in here, he's not giving me a lot of room. And I'm going to jump onto Broadway. By taking a left and being very careful to look around these roads because there's some obstacles. This is Huntington Place that I'm driving down right now. The snow is melting. Tomorrow it's going to be in the 50s, so the snow will really melt, but it's kind of a little bit of a mess on some of these streets with the melting snow and ice. But at the end of this street right here, you can see the twin houses. I've always loved those two homes right there. They kind of mirror each other. Beautiful, older, architecturally significant homes on this street. Victorian era and other time periods. Let's see, 1875. The one right there, the mustard-colored home. But we're going to try to cover all the side streets, every single conceivable little road or street or section around the St. Pat's Cathedral. And what do we got? Got to keep my eyes open here. Let's see. Next street is Otis Street. Let's go down Otis Street. A lot of these streets were paved last year and they're in mint condition. Okay, wait a minute. This is actually, what is this? This is I've never been back here. I'm just going to swing around. That's this is St. Pat's Cathedral, the rear of St. Pat's Cathedral. Let me go way to the end of this parking lot, and I can point back for a kind of a unique perspective. There's a basketball hoop back here. Kids want to play basketball. Wow, I personally, I've lived in Norwich my whole life. I've never seen this this view of St. Patrick's Cathedral in my entire life. Interesting. Beautiful. You never know what you're going to find when you do these little drives. Bishop Hines, a sign back there. Okay. School Office, Diocese of Norwich. That structure in front of us is obviously owned by the Catholic Church. And we're back on Otis Street. Some people chatting to my right. Okay. I'm going to take a left. and cover some more territory. I'm on McKinley Avenue right now. I'm going to take a left onto Perkins Avenue. Let's cover Perkins Avenue. Somebody backing out. Should I go or should I let them go? Well, I'm going to go. And, okay, wait a minute. Raymond Place. This is a street I'm not familiar with. Never been down here before. Looks like a little tiny street. Okay, it leads into the parking lot behind St. Patrick's Cathedral that I was just driving around, but that's okay. We got to cover it. We covered it. It's in the books. As I try to cover every single solitary street in the city of Norwich, I have hundreds of videos. I don't know about hundreds. I probably have, I would say, at least 100 videos on YouTube of me driving around various places, many of them very similar to this, covering streets in Norwich. And going back out onto, okay, coming off of Raymond Place. Okay, here's a dead end. Francis Place. Should I go up here? Whoa, this is going to be a tough one to turn around, but I'm just going to have to do it. What choice do I have? I'm here. Yeah, we got plenty of room. Kansas license plate in front of me on that Kia Sorento. Interesting. Actually, coming out of here, we'll get different views of St. Pat's Cathedral. That's Francis Place. And we're back on Perkins Avenue. I'm going to do kind of a gridded, you know, kind of a survey, or, you know, it's not like I'm on some reconnaissance mission in the military. I mean, I have complete freedom here, but I want to do a kind of a systematic coverage of every single street in this area. This is, the name of this street is Broad Street. Again, incredible architecture all over the place. I mean, boom. This is like, if you're into really cool architecture, Norwich, Connecticut is a place to just take a walk around and marvel at some of the stuff that's been built back in the 1800s in this area, early 1900s. Some go back as far as the 1700s, for that matter. As I jump off McKinley Avenue onto Rockwell Street, as we do our comprehensive coverage of every street around St. Patrick's Cathedral. Let's go down Crescent Street. This is Crescent Street right here. A lot of multi-family homes. These homes were single-family residences when they were built, but that's not a practical idea anymore for gigantic 5,000-6,000 square foot homes to be occupied by a single family. So they're multi-family homes now. As we go up Broad Street, again, we came down this way earlier, but we're going to continue on our gridded pattern. Cedar Street to my left, and we're going to jump on Cedar. Okay, this is Cedar Street. And I'm going to take a left onto Elmwood Avenue as I zigzag up and down. Let's see if we can work our way around here on Elmwood Avenue. Again, beautiful homes on Elmwood Avenue. Get back onto Broadway. Which is wide open, no traffic. There's an ambulance coming this way. Okay, what's this one over here? Slater Avenue. We are now going up Slater Avenue. Okay, Broadway Terrace. There's a little tiny street back there. I want to take that. That's important. We don't want to miss that. That means I'm going to have to turn around up here. That could be a little tricky. Let me figure this thing out. All right, this is Peggy Lane down here. I don't know if that's a legitimate street name or... Anyways, I'm going to back up because I want to catch that little side street. I don't know if it's one way. I didn't see a one-way sign. I'll find out in a second. Okay, let me take I got to keep my eyes open. There it is, right down there. Okay, this is called Broadway Terrace. Man, does it look narrow. Okay, let's see. Well, I guess it's a one-way street. It's not one way, but it's a. You can't get out of here if you're, expecting this street to connect to others. It doesn't. But that's okay. We just back up. And work our way out of here. Slowly but surely, we're going to cover all these roads. But this is kind of a cool perspective coming out of this Broadway Terrace. I have choices to make here. I think I'll go back up. Slater. Cover some more territory. Okay, let's see. We're on Cedar. Let's take a ride down Green Avenue. I don't want to get too far away from St. Patrick's Cathedral. So I'm going to take a left down here and work my way back. On February 16th, 2022, in Norwich, Connecticut. I have to wait for cars. I'm at a stop sign. And I'm going to be getting out on Washington Street. And I'm just going to get out a little bit. Some of these guys seem to be traveling at excessive rates of speed. I'm going to go up Buckingham Avenue. This is probably the steepest street in, I don't know, it's one of the steepest streets in Norwich. I've, my wife and I have walked up this thing on several occasions. It's like, I mean, right here, I don't know if the camera probably doesn't do it justice, but I'm almost going, it seems like straight up. I mean, my car is, you know, shifting gears and kind of struggling a little bit here. I mean, this is straight up Buckingham Avenue. If you're ever in the area and you want to get some exercise, that's walking or running up that hill will really test you. All right. I'm going to work my way back down to the St. Patrick's Cathedral area. But that was worth a little look, I think. All right, I got to get out back one more time down Slater. Right to the left, right in front of us to the left there is called the Coachman House. John F. Slater Estate circa 1843. Really cool house, historically significant, of which there are many in Norwich, Connecticut. Look at that view. Beautiful. All right, let's cover some more territory. Gotta be real careful. Ooh. Looking around some of these vehicles is kind of tough to see. Take a cruise down Broadway, which is where we are right now. It's a good day for filming due to the fact that it's very overcast, and that makes for good even light for these videos. I'm going to take a right and we'll get a quick view of NFA. I'm not going to dwell on NFA too much here. We've done that in many, many other videos. But Slater Memorial Museum and NFA right in front of us. We're on Chelsea Parade Street right now, and I'm going to jump back on Crescent. Let me take a ride. That's Park Congregational Church to my right. Let's take a left down Joseph Perkins Road. That's a one-way street now. Again, NFA to my left. As we drive down Joseph Perkins Road. In the middle of February. Imagine that. 43 degrees. Tomorrow it's going to be in the 50s. In the middle of February. I'll take it. Okay, now we are on, temporarily, for a very short period of time, McKinley Avenue Extension. This is probably considered the NFA area, so we've drifted a little bit away from St. Pat's Cathedral, but that's okay. That's fine. We're covering territory, which is what we have been doing on this project that I began a few years ago, driving around the streets of Norwich. And the folks that used to live here years ago, that don't live here anymore, get to see what things look like now in the year 2022, for example. As I drive up Broad Street again. As I take my time, and I see a street down here that we have to take a look at. It is called Warren Street. Well, we're not going to take a look at it. It's do not enter. Well, anyways, that's Warren Street back there. I'm going to try to... All right, we'll do Warren. We got to come up the other way. This is a one-way street, Spalding Street. Actually, being one way is kind of a bonus for me. I don't have to worry about oncoming traffic. As we drive down Spalding Street. Whoa, wait a minute. Freeman Avenue. I'm going to take a look up there. All right, let's take a ride up Freeman Avenue. This is one I absolutely positively have never covered. I guarantee it. All right, that gives us kind of a good look at Freeman. I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm going to reverse this thing. Hopefully I don't get stuck in the mud or snow or ice or anything here, but all right. Let's work our way down because I wanted to cover Warren Street in its entirety if I can. All right, Freeman Avenue we did. That's good. Very small street. We're on Spalding Street now. We're going to jump over to Warren Street, which I missed because it's a one-way street and I couldn't approach it from that area. So we're going to do it right now, Warren Street. And there's a gentleman behind me. I want to drive real slow. I'm sure he's not going to be thrilled about it. But this is Warren Street, everybody. And I'm going to go straight. And see what we got up here. Warren Street continues. Really cool house to the left. Wow. This is a pretty big hill. All right, Platt Avenue. Let's take a look. This is Platt Avenue, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. Platt Avenue. Taking my time, driving real slow, rolling along here. Where in the world does this come out? I don't know. There's a gentleman or person down here pulling out of a kind of a tight area, so we'll give him a second to line things up, and there we go. All right, for some strange reason, we're dumping back out onto Broad Street. Interesting. All right, I know where we are. This is going to be tricky. Can't really see around that corner too good. Gotta really fly out of here. Gotta be super careful. Going down Lake Street right now. That guy seems to be blocking traffic down there, so that's going to be tough. All right, I'm coming through here with a GoPro. People are probably looking at me like, what in God's name is this guy doing with a camera attached to his car? Thanks. Guy on a motorcycle. Awesome. It's the middle of February, he's riding a motorcycle. That's, it's not something you see every day. Wow, look at that view. I'm not going to go to the edge, but there's a heck of a good view over there. Off of Lake Street. Let's do the entirety of Lake Street. which leads up to, well, I'm going to figure that out in a second. Whoa, this is going to be hard. A hard slog getting out of here. I made it. Anyways, this is Boswell Avenue, legendary Boswell Avenue. And I'm going to jump back down into the St. Patrick's Cathedral area. We got a green light, which is good news. And we're going to work our way back down. Covering more territory. We're on Broad Street. And I'm going to try to go back up. Let me take a... All right, there it is. Platt. You know, I got to get on Grove. Well, I can't get on Grove. It's another one-way. I'm running into one-way do not enter situations on occasion here. Another guy mesmerized by the fact that I have a camera attached to the front of my car. I get a lot of that. Anyways, we're back on Platt Avenue. This is an avenue. I don't know what constitutes one road being a street, another one being an avenue, another one being, you know, such and such a lane or whatever. Speaking of lane, we got to get on Rose Garden Lane because that's important. We haven't done this before. So we cruise down. All right. This is no through street. It's a cul-de-sac, and there's plenty of room to turn around down here. But I'm really glad we did this. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is probably the first time I've covered this street. I've missed a few streets in Norwich. I know which ones they are, but they're not located right near each other. One's on one side of the town, the other one's, the other Norwichtown area or whatever. But in due time, we'll cover everything. So that was Rose Garden Lane back there. I'm very happy to say that that's in the books. It's been recorded. Platt Avenue, which leads back onto Rockwell Street. And cars come flying up Rockwell Street. To our left is the Rose Garden. Beautiful area. If I went straight, that would lead me right into Mohegan Park. Boy, oh boy. Oof, people fly on this street. Okay, we're back on Rockwell. Anyways, Rose Garden to my right. Beautiful rose garden in Norwich, Connecticut. When it's in full bloom, I highly recommend taking a look. I guess I could get down... I might have done this before, Butternut Drive. Yeah, I've done it. But I haven't done it in the year 2022. Some really cool houses up here. This is another one that's no outlet. But again, some really cool houses up here. I'm not sure the year a lot of these homes were built, but I would say 50s, 60s, 70s, right up until, modern day. But a lot of really I would say high-end, you know, real pricey properties up here, which is really kind of nice because it's very isolated. It's kind of like living in Mohegan Park. You're in the woods, in the country, but the city and all the schools and shopping and everything is 3 minutes down the road. A little icy back here. That's okay. We're in good shape with these tires. Beautiful brick home to my left. I mean, these houses are rock solid. A lot of them, I noticed a lot of stone and brick homes up here. Back when architects did, wow, that's the one on my left. You probably can't see it, but it's a gigantic mansion. Architects design these homes. These are unique, many of them, not all of them, but these are unique. They're not cookie cutter homes. These are unique designs, one of a kind styles. The one to the left, it's made of stone, field stone or whatever. But this is Butternut Drive. I've done it before. It's a really interesting street in the city of Norwich, and I think it's worth doing it again. I mean, this is a different time. February 2022. Again, we're looking out onto Rockwell. Some real nice homes out here. As we cruise very, very gently down this little hill, somebody walking across the street, looking at their phone. Familiar territory. Let's take a left. We'll get on to McKinley Avenue proper. We were on McKinley Avenue extension earlier. This is McKinley Avenue. And we're at a red light, which quickly turned green. Residual snow left over from a minor snow event we had a couple of days ago. All right, we covered Warren and we covered Perkins there to the left and the right of us, so I'm going to keep going down McKinley and see what else we got down here. It's kind of narrow. The snow is tightening things up a little bit with parking, so. All right, I might get a chance to do Grove Street, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, let me, if I can turn in here. Yeah. This is the former site of, it used to be, I'm just going to point the vehicle. Well, maybe I'll turn around a little bit. It looked a little muddy. I tried to avoid that, but okay. This used to be the site of the armory, right there. There's nothing there now. There's just an empty lot. It's been empty for years. There's a little street down there called Barbara White Way. Emergency Management Support Facility right in front of us. I don't know what that means. Norwich Fire Department Mass Decontamination Unit. Okay. It's something to do with, you know, emergencies and contamination, and I don't know. I have absolutely no clue what that situation is back there, but I'm just reading the signs. All right. Boy, oh boy. Whew. Some of these streets are narrow. All right, let's see. Grove Street. I wanted to do Grove, so we're going to do Grove. And it's a one-way street. And this is Grove. It's very small, very short little street. But we got to do it. We got to cover it. Wouldn't be fair to leave Grove Street out. As we go up the hill, a lot of hills. Norwich is very hilly. Gentleman up on the corner here walking his dog. And I'm going to take a right as they look at my camera that is on my car and think to themselves, what is this guy doing? Okay, we already, on our right is Lake Street. We already went down there. And we've already done this section of Broad, but I'm going in the opposite direction, so it gives us a different vantage point, a different view. And I'm going to try to work my way over. Okay, let's get on Baltic Street. All right, that's good. And we'll go up Orchard Street. It's going to bring us back to Rockwell. But I've never done Orchard this way before. I've come the opposite way. So in order for historic preservation and historic purposes, where many, many years from now, 25 years from now, 50 years from now, 200 years from now, 500 years from now, let's get crazy. 25,000 years from now, somebody can look at this video right now and say, whoa, look at the way life was in Norwich, Connecticut 25,000 years ago. That's wild. As we drive down Orchard Street. You know, I'm not going to get on Rockwell again. We just did that. So let's get on Beach Street. This is Beach Street. More hills. Real sharp, steep corners and steep hills, and you got to be on your game when you drive around here. Stop signs all over the place, you know. It's 5:02 p.m. right now. As we cruise down Baltic Street. Very carefully. Wow, there's somebody walking a really big dog. Get a load of that. That thing's huge. The dog is bigger than the person. That's incredible. All right, got the green light over here on Boswell Avenue. Let's head down this section of Boswell. And we've kind of drifted away from St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is fine. That's okay. We covered all the side streets. We did. I consider that a comprehensive. Kind of a comprehensive tour. Folks, I had to change batteries. I'm not quite sure how long that was out, but anyways, we got a pretty good view from where I'm sitting here up at the what used to be a Cadillac garage when I was a kid, or back in the old days. There's a car wash out in front of us and different things, but I can now proceed, now that I have a new battery in this thing. Some lingering snow piled up there from that snow event we had the other day. It wasn't the biggest storm in the world, but okay, let's get my bearings here. Norwich Mini Market. Okay, so we did Grove. Hopefully the battery was still operational. And we're back. Right now we're on, technically, let me take a look at my GPS, McKinley Avenue again. It's getting dark, but the camera will adjust for exposure, and it probably looks fairly bright, but it is getting darker. And we're going to have to wind this video down eventually, but now that we switched batteries, we don't have to worry so much about losing power. A couple of guys working on a car to my left. And there we are, back on the left. St. Patrick's Cathedral. Very, very cool. All right, let's cover some more roads. Let me think here. I'll cover some more territory as we patiently wait for cars to meander by, and then we get to go out onto the road, which this particular road is Broadway. Let me drive around this church, St. Mark's Lutheran Church. Just let me drive around the parking lot a little bit. Church has been there forever. I don't know about forever, but it's been there a while, as long as I can remember. On the front of it says Cornerstone City Church, St. Mark Lutheran Church, Unitarian Universalist Church. So it's kind of like three churches in one. I'm going to just go, I mean, in case anybody ever went here years ago or even now, I mean, covering the territory for preservation on camera. And let me swing around, get a look at this thing, swing way around. Get a look at the back of this thing. It's got kind of a unique, architecturally unusual kind of a arch up there. Whoa, I can't go that way. There's an arrow pointing. You know what? I'm going to go that way anyways. I know, okay, violating, protocol here. But I'm going to just bet there's not going to be anybody coming, which there isn't, in this direction. So, if I turn right here, now it's proper. Now things are okay. There's another giant former mansion, now multifamily dwelling to my right. Anyways, we covered that church, and it's, kind of front, back, the parking lot, the whole 9 yards. Let's jump back out onto the road here. If you have any used clothing, that church there takes donations. They have a drop-off shed back there. And it's rapidly becoming darker and darker and darker. Hopefully this camera is able to maintain proper exposure so everybody can see what's going on. As I turn left, there's Chelsea Parade right in front of us. Blackstone Apartments to my right. That's Washington Street. Right now I'm on Chelsea Parade Street, or I'm not really sure. Chelsea Parade something. Trying to read the sign. Anyways, I'm jumping on a Washington Street here. Okay, this is Blackstone Apartments. Chelsea Parade to my right. Beautiful Chelsea Parade. As we head down Washington Street, we're kind of moving away from St. Pat's Cathedral. So that portion of the journey is over. That's what I wanted to do. There's memorials to my right here to commemorate people, veterans who served in the Korean conflict and Vietnam, and I don't know, maybe World War II. I can't see them all. I'm trying to glance over, but beautiful memorials. To my left is a home. I don't know if you can glimpse it or not, with tons of birds, huge, what look to be vultures. They're back. They come every year. They haven't been around much lately, but man, looking up there now, it's going to be like 50 of them as we head down Washington Street towards, right now, Bacchus Hospital's down here. Norwichtown Mall is down here. The gas station, Gulf. $3.59 for a gallon of gas right now. Arnold Place to my right. This is always a relatively busy area. This intersection is relatively crowded. Almost 7 days a week in this area. Probably eases up on weekends, I would assume, but considering Bacchus Hospital is right there, and a lot of doctors' offices in this area, the Leffingwell Inn, the Norwichtown Commons, the mall is down there to our left, Stop and Shop, and Planet Fitness, and a bunch of other, dollar store, what I forget. A lot of food down there as far as, delis and bakeries, and there's little restaurants in that little Norwichtown area. Among other things, Goodyear Tire is down there, and United Community Family Services is down there, all kind of stuff down there. All right, green light. I'm going to get off the heavily traveled Washington Street. I'm going to go on to Washington Street Extension. Now, whether this is called Washington Street Extension or not, I don't know. It used to be. My GPS says just plain old Washington Street, so I don't know. There's a beautiful meadow, Lowthorpe Meadow to my left. Can't really see it. I have a full video on that on YouTube. On my channel on YouTube. If you like this video, you'll love my other videos, because they're basically the same thing. Me driving around Norwich. Norwich has got a lot of roads, a lot of streets, and I cover them all. I haven't covered 100%, but I've covered well over 90% of the streets. I mean, we got a couple more on the books today that I've never been down, so I'm going to do one little swing around this little Scotland Road, and I'm not going to do the full Scotland Road. I can't. But it's getting too dark. That's why I can't do it. But this is Scotland Road. This is the beginning of Scotland Road. Let's see here. Okay. Arlington Heights. All right. I've never done... I mean, this is like a stroke of luck. I've never done this before. Or let's put it this way. I don't remember doing this before on my drives. I definitely didn't do this before. If I did, I absolutely positively have no recollection of it. And there's something I may have, though. I mean, that's how things are. Jane Street is up here. Okay, this is Jane Street. If I go up Jane Street, there's really no way to get out. Or is there? There isn't. So I'm going to back up. But we did Jane Street. That's fantastic. It won't be fantastic if I back into a vehicle or some other thing that renders this trip a disaster. But so far, it's looking good. As I back down very carefully. But it's kind of cool little place to live up here. You're kind of isolated from everything. You're close to everything, but you're, again, kind of in a country atmosphere. Nice homes up here. Cape Cod style houses. And I have to turn around. I don't know if this guy's too thrilled about me turning around in his driveway, but I really have absolutely no choice whatsoever because I'm in a very tight situation here. Okay. Let's line this thing up and we'll head down the road. My GPS isn't actually registering this this street. That's how like off the beaten path it is, but it's Arlington Heights. Glad I covered it. A little extra bonus, some bonus footage. Really old homes, really cool houses, really, many of them very historic in nature. As we're going to try to jump out on a Scotland Road. And we're going to have to bring this video to a conclusion because it's getting dark. I'd love to drive around more and get more action on the roads for you in Norwich here today, but I can't. It probably doesn't appear that dark to you, but that's because the camera's compensating for that by changing the exposure and making things look appropriate. As a last, I'm on Huntington Lane, very historic. As a last thing before I sign off here, directly in front of us, George Washington stayed in that home, right there, right smack in front of us. Way, way back in the old days. George Washington, I don't know what he did there. I mean, maybe he just popped in for a visit, but I have it on good authority that he was once in that home. I am going to jump out onto East Town Street as that Cadillac Escalade pulls out, takes a left. As I cruise slowly up East Town Street here in the Norwichtown section of Norwich, I'd just like to say thanks for coming along for the ride. It was a real pleasure to have you watch this video as I take one final leg of the journey down East Town Street with the Norwichtown green to my left. Thanks for joining me, folks.